in the front of your chest. Big deep breath. Find these points in the front of your chest. And say, even though I have this issue. Big breath and focus on your issue. Big deep breath. Big sigh. And see if you can feel how intense your issue is for you right now. If you were to really let yourself admit it. Maybe you don't feel it fully present, but if you could feel it, how intense do you think it really is from 0 to 10? Just feeling that feeling in your body, give yourself a big deep breath and a big noisy sigh. Good. Repeat after me. Even though I have this issue, I'm open to loving and accepting myself. Tap your eyebrows. Even though I have this issue, I'm open to loving and accepting myself. Good. Tap your temples. This issue. Just say what that issue is for you. Tap the cheeks. This issue. Say it again. Tap under the nose. This issue about what? Tap under the lips. I'm open to loving and accepting myself. Tap the chest. Nice big circle around the front of the chest. And down to the front of the ribs. This issue. Tap the side of your rib cage. And the inside of your wrist. It really makes me feel what? What's the strongest negative feeling associated with your issue? Tap the side of the thumb. Say that feeling 3 more times. This feeling of what? Tap your index finger. Say it 3 more times. Big noisy breath. Tap the the middle of your middle finger. This issue makes me feel what? Tap the bottom of your 4th finger. I love and accept myself. If you can't say that, say I'm open to loving myself, even with the feeling of what? And tap your little finger. It's safe for me to acknowledge that I feel, and then say that negative thing again. Good. Tap the side of your hand. I feel really stuck in this. And tap the top of your head. I feel really stuck. Tap the back of your head, the sides of your head. Tap the eyebrows. Part of me feels permanently damaged. Remember that you can add your own words or change the words. Tap the temples. Part of me feels really stuck. Tap the cheeks. I wonder if it's too late. Tap under the nose. Big deep breath, big sigh. And tap under the lips. I wonder if it's too late. Tap the front of the chest. I love and respect myself. Tap in a big circle across the front of the chest. Tap the front of the ribs. I'm afraid that. What is it that you're afraid of in regards to this issue? Tap the side of the ribs. And tap the inside of the wrist. I'm afraid that what? And tap the side of the thumb. I'm open to loving and accepting myself, even though I'm afraid that. And just say what it is for you. And tap your index finger. I accept this fear. And just for 15 seconds, accept the fear. Let's see what happens to that fear with just a little bit of acceptance added right on top of it. That's not changing the fear. It's not arguing with it or denying it. Just lay some acceptance right into the same place that fear exists. And breathe. And tap your middle finger. I'm open to loving and accepting myself, even with this strong feeling of, and say it again. Tap the bottom of your fourth finger. It's safe for me to heal this. Tap your little finger. It's safe for me to begin to address this. Tap the side of your hand. It's safe for me to begin to address this. Tap the top of your head. I'm open to loving and accepting myself. Tap the eyebrows, exactly as I am. And tap the temples. Even though I'm really struggling with, and say what your issue is again. And breathe. And tap the front of your cheeks. Where do you feel your issue in your body? Tap under the nose. Tune into that part of your body again. And tap under the lips. I accept this trapped energy stored in my where? And tap the chest. This trapped energy, focus on it for another minute. And tap the front of the rib cage. This trapped energy stored in my, say where it is again. And tap the side of your ribs, this trapped energy that I feel where? And tap the inside of the wrist. I love and respect myself. Tap the side of the thumb, even with this trapped energy stored in my what? And tap your index finger. I'm open to releasing this energy from, and say where you've been storing it. Tap your middle finger. Even though I'm so used to feeling this way, tap the bottom of your fourth finger, and it feels impossible to clear this. Tap the inside of your little finger. It feels impossible to clear this. Tap the side of your hand, this impossible feeling. Tune in and see if there's a part of you that feels like it's impossible. Tap the top of your head, this impossible feeling. Tap the eyebrows, this impossible feeling. And tap the temples. Big breath, sigh. And tap the front of your cheeks. I love and forgive myself. Tap under the nose, even if it feels impossible. Tap under the lips, and part of me feels stuck in the feeling of what? And tap the front of your chest. Tune into your issue and see if it's as intense as it was when we first started. So just for fun, please chat in the chat window what your issue was at the beginning, not the topic particularly, but the number. So maybe it was a 10, maybe it's shifted, or maybe it stayed the same. But I'd love to hear from you either way, so I know how to help facilitate you. Okay, so we're going from, Dylan says a 7 to a 4. Jennifer says an 8 to a 6. Good. Jennifer Harmony's reporting 786, and that's really, really common. You'll see it every week. Some people go up before they go down, and that just means either they were numb to the full sensation or they were in survival mode and just had to kind of stay out of it. So as you start to tap, it peaks, and then it starts to actually clear from your nervous system. Everyone keep tapping as you're chatting in. And if you're unable to chat in or you're watching on replay, just keep tapping and feeling into the intensity of the issue. Every time you do that, that's referencing the remaining stress or trauma in your nervous system. You're doing that from a neutral or a positive place. It's going to start deleting that information from your actual nervous system. Keep tapping your wrist, and I'm going to keep reading the chat. Great. 10 to a 6, a 9 to a 7. Sarah says 7 to a 6, 9 to a 7, 8 to a 7. Erin's doing the wave. 9, 10, 8. Stephanie says 6 to a 10, yawning, crying, and burping. Go, girl. Christina's a 10 to an 8. She says underneath the anger is a woman who would have to take care of herself and the sad child because mom did not. Yeah. And so, Christina, those are aspects that you want to follow and go ahead and tap on those exact thoughts. And if you don't have time in this session, go back and do this again later, or write it down and carry on tapping afterwards. Okay, Julie says, nothing's happening yet. Don't worry. We haven't said the key emotion for you yet. 7 to a 5, lots of burping and yawning from Gina. Great. Here we go. Let's start over. Let's start at the crown of the head right now. Even though I don't know if anything's really going to help me, let's all just say that for fun, because I think we all feel like we have these unique blocks and these unique traumas, and that because we have tried for so long and struggled for so long, that something as simple and silly looking as tapping on your face isn't really going to change much. Let's just admit that and see what happens. I don't think anything's going to really help me. Tap the cheeks. I don't think anything's really going to help me. Big breath. Good. A lot of people report that there's so many issues and they all come rushing forward at once, right? So it's like the customer service window has just been opened, maybe for the first time in a long time, maybe for the first time ever. And there's this whole long line of issues that are waiting to be served, waiting for this window of opportunity. And they just need to know that you're going to come back and handle them sequentially for all of those things to settle a little bit, take a number, and be patient. So just work on the first thing presenting. Yes, it's connected to the others. See if you can work that down at least to a 2 or a 3, and then take the next customer in line, okay? I promise you, you don't have an infinite amount of pain. It just feels like you do. Tap your chest. I'm allowing myself. So, Christina, follow along with the initial issue, but make a side note, write down those 2 thoughts that occurred, and make sure you come back to them later, okay? Unless it feels like that's exactly what's underneath, which it might be. I'm just going to say, trust your intuition. Tap the front of your ribs, everyone. This issue, going back to just tuning into your issue, ask yourself, what's really underneath this? Tap the side of the ribs. What's really under it for me is, let's say that again, what's really under it for me is, tap the inside of your wrist. Just say what you think is under it. Tap the side of your thumb. What's really underneath this for me is, breathe. Tap your index finger. I love and respect myself. Tap your middle finger, even though. Tap the bottom of your fourth finger. What's really underneath this for me is. Tap your little finger. I deeply and completely forgive myself. Tap the side of the hand, even if I'm holding on to what's underneath it. Tap the top of the head. Part of me is holding on to what's underneath this. Ask yourself why. Why am I holding on to what's underneath this? Tap the eyebrows. I'm holding on. Tap the temples because. And tap the cheeks. I'm holding on. Tap under the nose because. Tap under the lips. Fill in the blank again and just blurt it out. Might be the same thing you just said. It might be something different. I'm holding on because. Big breath, big sigh. Tap the center of your chest. Part of me wants to keep holding on because. And tap the front of your rib cage. Because why? And tap the side of your ribs. And the inside of your wrist. Who would I be if I decided to let this move today? Can you say that 3 or 4 times? Who would I be if I decided to let this move today? Big breath, big sigh. Who would I be if I decided to let this move out of my body today? Big breath. Tap your index finger. I love and accept myself, even though I'm afraid of letting this move out of my body. Tap your middle finger. If I really let it go, what would happen? What scary thing might happen if you really let it go? Tap the bottom of your fourth finger. I'm open to loving and accepting myself. Tap your little finger, even though I'm afraid that this scary thing would happen. Tap the side of the hand. This thing I don't want to have happen, which is what? Tap the top of the head. Say the scary bad thing again. So say it 3 or 4 times in a row. Like, I'd have to take responsibility, I'd have to take responsibility, I'd have to take care of this sad child. What is it that would happen for you? Tap the temples. Big, deep breath. And just notice that self-imposed limitation that you put there, that you thought was there to keep you safe. That thing that you just said, are you possibly accidentally creating a slowing down process because you're afraid of this bad thing? And is it also possible that you're manifesting this thing by meditating on it over and over with your fear? Just saying. Tap your chest and breathe. Good, beautiful. Tap the front of your ribs. I love and respect myself, even if I'm afraid. Tap the side of the ribs. Afraid again. Say what it would happen. Tap the inside of the wrist. I'm allowing myself to clear this. Tap the side of the thumb. I'm allowing myself to clear this. And just a note, just because the internet is a weird thing, sometimes you have to refresh your browser. If you get locked out for some reason, the internet was in flux or it slows down. So just always remember when you're on Circle with us that if for some reason the screen is frozen, just refresh the browser and let it reboot, okay? Log back in if you have to. Tap your index finger. So let's do another quick check-in and see if that has shifted things for you. Keep tapping if you're not typing and focusing on what number your issue feels like it is now. And give me where you were at the beginning where you are now. So I see someone's down from a 9 to a 5, which is about almost half off, which is great for just a little bit of attention. And Gina, welcome back. Good. And forgiveness from an 8 to a 5. Okay, so some needed forgiveness. And while we're waiting for others to chat in, please keep tapping as you notice what's there for you. From a 9 to a 4, another related issue has come up connected to it. They're all interconnected, so it really doesn't matter what you're working on. One issue will lead you eventually to the rest, and each one that you clear lightens your load. It's like taking rocks out of a backpack. Just take any old rock out. Don't worry. You'll get to the big ones. You'll get to the small ones. They'll all come out in the end. Okay? Great, Julie. I'm glad you're getting some movement. Sarah, from a 7 to a 4. Great. Tap on that guilt. 8 to a 5. 10 to a 5. Yay, really moving it. Big, deep breath. Okay. Tapping your chest. Even though what's underneath it is, just say what's underneath it, tapping your chest in a big circle and breathing. Big sigh. Okay? I'm really afraid that, tap the front of the ribs, tap the front of the ribs, big breath. What would happen if you were able to touch this feeling deeply enough with your love right now? Let's see what happens. And you tap on what's underneath it for you with your love. To say, I'm bringing love to this feeling of what? Or this thought that what? Tap the inside of your wrist. I'm bringing some love to this idea or this feeling. Breathe and go ahead and do it. Bringing love right there without arguing, without shaming, without being embarrassed. I feel really what? Or I still really believe what? Tap the side of the thumb and say what you just said 3 or 4 times in a row and breathe. Tap your index finger, say it again. Tap your middle finger, big deep breath, big sigh. Tap the bottom of your fourth finger. I'm allowing myself to heal this. Tap your little finger. Even though it would put me in such a different place, a place I've never been. Tap this side of the hand. It's safe to release this from my body. And tap the top of the head. I'm allowing myself to love myself and to relax. And tap the eyebrow. Allowing myself to love myself and to relax inside. Tap your temple and breathe. Big sigh. And I want you just to take a big wave of relaxation and bring it right to that place that's still stressed or tense or afraid or doubtful. And just accepting that place and relax towards it with your compassion. Tap the front of your cheek and breathe. And tap into the nose. Bringing another wave of relaxation right to that very same place that's still kind of spasming inside. Big breath. Just accepting that place that's spasming in fear, spasming in shame, or guilt, or anger. Tap your chest. Big deep breath. I'm allowing this to come through my body. I've suffered long enough. Can you tap the front of your ribs? I've suffered long enough. Tap the side of the ribs. I've suffered long enough. The inside of the wrist. I'm open to forgiving myself and everyone involved. And just be open to spraying some forgiveness on the whole situation from wherever it really, really started. Tap the side of the thumb, even though it feels like maybe the people involved or you feel yourself that you don't deserve it. Tap the index finger. Let's see what happens when we forgive you. Big breath. And tap your middle finger. I'm open to forgiving myself. Tap the bottom of the fourth finger. For everything I did to carry this on, to contribute to it, even just to prolong the agony. Tap your little finger. And just say, oops, I prolonged the agony. Oops, I prolonged the agony. Tap the side of your hand. I love and respect myself even if I prolonged the suffering. Tap the top of your head. Very good. I love and respect myself. I'm open to forgiving myself. Big breath, big sigh. I'm allowing myself to clear this. And tap the front of your cheek. I'm allowing myself to clear this. Tap into the nose. Good. Tune into your issue again. As you tap under your lips, what number would you give it now? And ask yourself, also, what's still holding this together? And put that in the chat window, please. The original number, what number it is now, and what you think is still holding it together. If you're not typing, you're tapping, okay? From an 8 to a 4, sadness, still holding it together. And Celeste says, it was shock and trauma. I didn't do it intentionally. That's true. And accidentally carrying the shock and trauma all this time. So no one's to blame. All right, down from a 7 to a 1. Dylan, congrats. I think it's just tied up in some other strings. Good. Go after them. Jennifer says, a feeling of helplessness. Okay. Tapping down to the front of the rib cage. Even though it's still a, say what it is for you. What number is it? And what feeling is underneath it. Tap the side of the ribs. I love and accept myself. Good, you guys are having such good realizations. I'm watching them come in. Beautiful. Tap the inside of your wrist. I'm so proud of you. Just look at what happens when you ask yourself a few simple questions. Tap the side of the thumb. I'm loving and accepting myself. Tap your index finger. Even though part of me still believes, and say what it is that's holding it together for you while you tap and breathe. Tap the middle finger. I just switched hands. You might want to switch hands too if you haven't. This feeling or this belief, it's still holding it together. Say what it is. Say it like a chant 3 or 4 times, just out loud. Tap the bottom of your 4th finger. Tap the inside of your little finger. Keep saying what's holding it together. Tap the side of your hand. I love and respect myself, even though this is what's holding it together for me. Tap the top of your head. Part of me wants to hold on to this because, and then say your reason. Tap the sides of your head and the back of your head. Tap your eyebrows. I can hold on to this if I really need to. Tap your temples. Breathe and ask yourself, do I really need to hold on to this? Do I really need to hold on to this? Tap your cheeks and breathe. Tap under your nose. Stay with me. Keep tapping right now. Tap under your lips. I love and accept myself even though I feel what? And in the case of numbness, it's still a feeling. You can tell that you feel numb. So someone was just chatting saying, I have this numbness. They say, I accept the numbness. Okay? So tap the front of your ribs. And say what it is for you that's still holding it together. Tap the side of the ribs. And the inside of the wrist. I'm open to loving and accepting myself. And tap the side of the thumb. Even if I continue to, and then say what it is for you that's holding this together. Tap your index finger. I love and respect myself. And tap your middle finger, even if part of me holds back and holds on. Tap the bottom of the 4th finger. Part of me is kind of attached, right? What are you attached to? Is it a way of being? Is it a way of getting attention? Is it a way of coping? Is it a way of punishing yourself or someone else? By holding on to this, tap the side of the hand. Maybe it's just, I've gotten so used to this, I've built my whole life around it. Let's try that one. Tap the top of your head. I've gotten so used to this. I've built my life and personality around it. Tap your eyebrows. Who would I be if I let it move through me today? Tap the temples. Say it 3 times. Who would I be if I let this completely move through me today? Big breath. Tap your cheeks. Who would I be if I let this move through me? I love and accept myself. Tap under the lips. Even though part of me is afraid of letting this move completely through me, because tap the chest. Tap the front of the ribs. If you're feeling like it's moving rather slow, go ahead and just say the opposite. Say, I'm not letting it move, I'm not letting it move, I'm not letting it move. Tap the side of the ribs. I still need the feeling of what? And tap the inside of the wrist. It's safe to let it move. Tap the side of the thumb. I have my own permission to fully exist. Tap the index finger. I have my own permission to fully, authentically show up. Tap the middle finger. I have my own permission to come back to life. Tap the bottom of your 4th finger. I'm bringing myself back to life. Tap your little finger. Even if part of me is still resisting, tap the side of the hand. I deeply and completely accept myself. Tap the top of the head. It's safe for me to clear this. Tap the sides of the head and the back of the head. I'm bringing myself back to life because what positive reason would you have to heal this for yourself? What would the positive outcome be if you were to magically be able to defrost or to untangle or to sort this out to heal it? Tap the front of the cheeks. If this were to heal, I could what? Tap under the nose. I want you to imagine it again. I'm allowing myself the possibility of, say the positive thing you just said. Tap your chest in a big circle. Say it 3 times. I'm allowing myself the new possibility of what? Tap the front of the ribs. We are bringing ourselves back to life. Tap the side of the ribs. I'm creating this new possibility right now. Tap the inside of the wrist. I'm creating this new possibility right now. Say the possibility again and say it with some enthusiasm. Say it like you'd like it to happen. Tap the side of your thumb. I'm open to the new possibility of, say your positive thing again, 3 times. Tap your index finger. Let's have another check-in and see where you're at. So go ahead and tune into your issue. Notice where it was, where it is, what little piece or big piece may still be holding you back. So put that information into the chat window, please. Dylan saying, wow, such huge shifts. Feels like I'm back at the Salem house. That's where we all used to live and practice this in my living room, huh? Jennifer, an 822. Brand new area of focus. Go get it. Go get it. Anyone else want to comment? I know I'm definitely feeling clearer. We've a lot of work to serve the world and to take it to the next level. It's a big, beautiful group effort, but I feel better every time I tap and get out of my own way. Yay, Jennifer Harmony says, from an 8 to a 3, it feels fun and possible. Woo! Christina down to a 4, being seen, powerful and courageous woman. Still some sadness. Great, keep working on the sadness. Kat says an 8 to a 4, wonderful. 7 to a 1. I like giving myself full permission to be my authentic self. Go, Maya. Julie says 10 to a 6. Moving slowly, seeing the need to set boundaries. Fabulous. Slow and easy wins the race. Svetlana, 9 to a 2. Yay! Feeling better, everyone. Was a 10 down to a 3. Go, Erin. Yay, accepting responsibility for caring for myself. Angry at myself for screwing it up for so long. Well, yeah, and then what are we going to do, right? We're going to breathe and just move forward. It's the best any of us can do, so don't be too hard on yourself. You're on the right path, and here you are working on it, so be sweet to yourself. Gina went from a 7 to a 4 to a 2 to a 0. Woo-hoo! Nice. Okay, Melissa's bringing a point, afraid it won't last. Okay, and I don't have time to read all the rest of the chat, but you guys can see it coming in. So massaging the front of your chest. Even though I'm afraid it won't last, I love and accept myself. Big breath, tune in, and if you've already cleared this to a 0, go ahead and maybe work on a little side issue. It doesn't feel too big because we don't have that much time left. Tap the eyebrows. I'm afraid it won't last. Let's chant it like a mantra for a second. Afraid it won't last. Temples, cheeks, afraid it won't last. Breathe, sigh. Tap into the nose. I give myself this compassion and forgiveness. Tap under the lips. I'm giving myself compassion and understanding for this piece that's still holding me back. Focus on that piece for you. Maybe it's fear that it won't last. Maybe it's you just need some more empathy. Now, these issues have been here a while. So giving yourself a good 10 minutes of empathy, or even an hour, or even 2 hours, or even 6 sessions of empathy on something that's been here for 20 years, it's still a really good deal. Okay? Tap the front of the ribs. I understand what's been going on. Tap the side of the ribs, and I forgive myself. And tap the inside of the wrist. I want you to send some empathy back through space and time to that previous version of you that was hurt, that was not supported, that was mistreated, that wasn't seen, that was shut down, that was abandoned, that was put down. Big breath, sending love back to that younger version of you. Big breath, send it all the way back. Do it again. Good. Tap the side of your thumb one more time. Sending empathy back to that little girl, that little boy, that young adult, that confused child, that hurt teenager. Tap your middle finger. And just spray that whole scene in your mind with this beautiful iridescent compassion to everyone involved for them also not getting the love they needed. People involved not being able to give you the proper kind of attention or support or appropriate behavior because they were treated so poorly, so violently, so neglected. Big breath, big sigh. Tap your little finger. I'm bringing this love where it's needed. Tap the side of your hand. I'm bringing this love where it's needed. Tap the top of the head. I'm bringing this love where it's needed now. And tap the eyebrows. Bring it right where it's needed again and breathe. Tap your cheek. I'm bringing this love where it's needed. See if you can visualize again, right where it's needed, either physically in your body or where it's needed inside your mind or heart, or even in a scenario that you see in your mind, an image or a memory. Breathe. Tap under the lips. It's safe for me to do this. Tap the chest. It's safe to bring the love right where it's needed. Tap the front of your ribs. It's really safe to bring the love where it's needed. Tap the side of the ribs. I love and respect myself. And tap the inside of the wrist. I'm bringing this love where it's needed. And also the feeling of what? So if you had a negative feeling that was holding it together, let's say it was fear, what would the opposite of fear be? Safety? So if you had doubt or fogginess, you would be bringing clarity and confidence. Tap the side of the thumb. I'm bringing love and say this positive feeling. Let's say it 3 or 4 times and breathe. Tap your index finger. Say it again just for fun, with some enthusiasm. I'm bringing love and what? Tap your middle finger. Even if there's still a little bit left, tap the bottom of the 4th finger. Tune in and see what's left. Is it a feeling? Is it a thought? Is it a part of a memory? Focus on it for just a minute and breathe. I want you to relax with compassion and understanding towards that thought or that feeling or that memory. Tap your little finger. It's safe for me to release the past. Tap the side of the hand. It's just leftover energy from another time and place. Right, Dylan? It's just leftover energy from another time and place. Tap the eyebrows. This leftover energy from another time and place. Breathe. Tap the temples. I'm bringing in the positive feeling of what? I want you to put it right there and overlay it on top of this leftover energy if there is any. I'm bringing the feeling of peace and accomplishment. Tap under the nose. Confidence. Tap under the lips. Of being seen and heard and believed. Tap the chest. I'm allowing myself permission to exist this way. Big breath and really give yourself permission to exist this new way. Tap the front of the ribs. If for some reason you're not willing to do that, On the inside, just say, I'm not willing to give myself permission, and then say the positive thing again. Tap the inside of the wrist, and for everyone else, go ahead and say the positive thing. I'm giving myself permission to exist this way, and say it again, what it is. Tap the side of your thumb. It's safe for me to exist this way. Tap the index finger. It's time for me to exist this way. Tap your middle finger. The world needs me to show up this way. Breathe. Big sigh. The world needs me to show up this way. Tap the little finger. I'm moving myself forward. Tap the side of the hand, and I'm proud of myself for doing it. Then tap the top of the head. I'm moving myself forward. Tap the eyebrows, and I'm proud of myself for doing it. Tap the temples. Tap the cheeks. I'm open to forgiving myself and everyone involved. Tap under the nose, especially who? Tap under the lips. Who may have modeled this same issue in your childhood, had the same kind of feelings or responses? Tap the chest. I'm allowing myself to really honor what happened. Tap the front of the ribs. Even if no one else ever gets it, I'm allowing myself to honor what happened and to heal it now. Tap the side of the ribs. I'm allowing myself to be heard. Tap the inside of the wrist. I'm allowing myself to be recognized. Tap the side of the thumb. I'm recognizing what happened. Tap your index finger. And I'm bringing such empathy and compassion to that beautiful young person. Tap the middle finger. And just say to that previous version of you, if there's anything left, just say, I'm sorry it took me so long to get here, but I'm here now. Tap the bottom of the fourth finger. I'm sorry it took me so long to find you. Tap your little finger. I'm here for you now. Tap the side of the hand. It's safe to relax and to let this go. Good job. What other beautiful, loving things would you like to say to yourself? Tap all over your body and tell yourself some really loving, supportive statements. If you could say 10 encouraging things to yourself right now, say each one 2 or 3 times. We're just going to spend an extra couple of minutes really beefing up the love. What do you need to hear? What does that part of you need to hear? Go ahead and freeform for the next 2 or 3 minutes. Some really, really positive things. Tapping wherever you feel motivated to tap on your body. I believe in you. I appreciate you. I'm amazed that you've made it this far, and I'm so proud of you. I've got your back. I'm never going to let that happen to you again. You've got all the support you need now. I trust you. Let it in and breathe. Really let it in. Imagine that this is 1 minute left of just letting it soak all the way to your bone marrow. Tapping all over the body. And when you're done, give yourself a few deep cleansing breaths. And just tune in and see how you feel now. And it's okay if you still have more tapping to do. You might also be in a really peaceful place and have successfully accomplished something in this last session that you've been waiting years to get to. So I'd love to know how you're feeling and what this experience is like for you. So if you want to chat in a word or two or a sentence or two, I'd love to get your feedback. And this is the time to do that. Looks like so many people who are showing up regularly are clearing faster each week, which is definitely a natural side effect of having a regular tapping process and practice. So the more often you show up, the more your body gets used to going, oh, okay, we're doing the thing again, sort of like shaking the cat food bag and the cat comes running. Your body goes, oh, okay, we're releasing. I know how to do this. It's safe. We've done it before. I survive it. I feel good when I do this. So congratulations to you who choose to relentlessly move yourself forward. Every step takes you that much further down the road, and one day you're going to look up and go, how did I get here? It's like, oh, all those tiny little steps I did, they actually add up. Okay, so Kat says, enlivened, tingly, and warm. Yay, I'm so glad you chose to join us, Kat. And congratulations. Feeling more of me. Tonight was a roller coaster. I feel like I'm gently vibrating. Good. Yay, 10 pounds lighter. All right. You are so welcome. Thank you for showing up for me, too. You know, I get a lot out of being here for you. It makes my heart sing. And it helps move me forward too, believe me. Doing a lot of tapping in the background to show up for the world this way. Yay, curious to jump in and test out the changes I felt in the session. Good. So I encourage all of you to test and see in your real life. And if little things still come up, tap right there. If something still is left, just tap right there in the moment. We talked about flagrant tapping, right? Public tapping, tapping in the car, tapping in the shower, tapping as you're walking down the street. Put your headphones in. Talk to yourself and tap. People don't think you're crazy anymore for talking to yourself, because we all talk to ourselves now on our cell phones, don't we? So Erin says, so much relief. So I'm so amazing. Yay, and such a gift to this planet. That is true. The world needs me. I can do it. I release this anger. I can forgive. I laugh, I cry, I release. Mwah. I love you all so much. Let's spread the love. I want to see 10,000 people tapping. I want us to do it together, and the reason I want us to do it together is because I believe there's power in numbers, and vibrationally we know that there's all these global meditations and global dances and global prayers, and this is a very active form of that same kind of thing. And as I continue to bang this drum and hold this beat steady, more and more people will join us. And those are people that you know and love in your community. So have a tapping party at your house. Turn people onto the free week. I've made it as cheap as possible for people to get the healing that they need and not have time or money be a huge limitation anymore, or even transportation. So thank you for joining us tonight or today, wherever you are, and all of our friends and family all over the planet. Last week there were people emailing saying they were doing it in their cars as they were rolling down the road on road trips, and what a joy that was. So the next time I see you, I will have been out to talk to thousands of people in the desert, and I'm sure our numbers will be growing very rapidly. So yay, it's happening for all of us. That's right, Svetlana. Thank you so much. Relief and kisses and kindness. I'm glad you're feeling better, Taylor. So I'm giving you kisses. Wish us luck. We're going out into the storms. They've closed the roads tonight because of the rain, so we're all holed up in hotels. My first workshop that I'm supposed to be at tomorrow probably isn't going to happen. So who knows? Maybe I have an extra dress to wear for a different occasion. But I'll show up as long as the sandstorms and the rainstorms will let me. All right, sweet family. Love you. Last text messages if you want to chat anything in. And we will see you very soon on the other side of Burning Man. Blessings.